Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
All's good.
Chiba School says you're a dork. Hey, watch it. I'm a pumpkin cool cat girl. School's the real star of the show here, anyway.
Okay, hello. I am here. Yeah. I was like, where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? It says two. It's I gotta start. But hi, yes. Yeah. So, as usual, welcome to the Project Exploration stream. If you're watching this live, hi. Thanks for watching and being in the chat. If you got questions, feel free to ask away. Try to answer them if I can. And for those who don't realize, though, we are streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, so that is kind of a thing. Oop, looks like Discord's making noises when it shouldn't be. Let me fix that real quick. Just a quick little turn on that there streamer mode. Boom, there we go. Okay, that should hopefully suppress that. There we go. Okay, so recap, of course. Let's start with that. This stream usually goes, we do a recap of last week and what's happened in Studio Jaw and all that, and then any little special announcements following, which we do have a couple things to bring up this week. Hopefully not to anything, whatever, and then we're going to get right into working on this week's project, which, I hope that someday that we're big enough of a channel that people will start submitting the projects and ideas of things to work on or things that they want to specifically see done. But today, we don't have anything, of course. So we're going to be taking a look at finishing up the infrastructure for screen passing, screen handling, and so the basic UI stuff, and passing the screen along to the character creation screen. Anyways, so as updates, last week, we looked at beginning the work on the UI elements and things, and I was struggling with a few little bit here and there, and I said, we solved the problem, and I said I'd fix it off stream, and that I'd have it fixed by this week, of course. And yeah, that's exactly what happened, of course. Next day, I sat down to it, and we fixed the handling for input, fixed the handling for screen handoffs, fixed the handling, and actually then came along some fixes to UI stuff and UI elements, some of the animation handling and things like that. Let's pull that up. I actually had to create a little functiony thing here, pretty simple. But it was complex in what is happening here. So why would something like this called animation clamp have to exist? You're probably wondering. And when you look at it, you'll see it's actually quite simplistic what it's doing. But again, it's a complicated situation. So you see I'm taking in... Interesting that I did that, because that is wrong, and let's quick fix that. Since I'm looking directly at it, let's just fix that. So what it's doing is it's taking in a parameter. That's what we're assigning here on title fade. We have direction, right? Direction here is a parameter that's here, direction. This is then being used, actually, when you look at it, as direction, the multiplier for the speed. So this is the weird conundrum that we came across while working on this over the week. When doing like an effect, that we want an in and out tween of it, there's no good proper way to do that within Unity Animator for some reason. So the simple thought was, okay, we'll have it play forward and then back. That's a usual universal standard way of doing things. But that requires then creating two different states where we have one forward, one back. But then what was happening that we were seeing is an interrupt. So we'd go to the next state and it'd interrupt and it would start from the max and go to the min. This is bad. It looked janky. I didn't like it. I really did not like it. I felt it should be more smooth. And so I was looking for ways to smoothen that out where it goes from A to B and back to A, but if it's only halfway to B, that can then go back to A kind of thing. So that kind of interpolation to it. And there was just nothing I was finding that could work that would just do it. And then I came across the idea of just using the multiplier. Because one of the things was we had to use the multiplier because we couldn't set speed. You can set the speed of the animator, but if you set the speed of the animator, then it's the whole animator. Every animation, it's the active speed of the animator itself. And then it can't go negative. So not only does that end up creating the limitation that the base layer gets stuck going a certain direction, so it's affecting all layers, everything. So I needed it to be more granular, obviously, and affect only the animation. So my thought after seeing that multiplier is like, what happens if I make a -1? Okay, it goes backwards. What happens if I make it 1? It goes forward. Great. Thought I had a solution. Until I saw that the time for the state was pushing past 1, the end of the animation, and pushing before, or the length of the animation, and pushing before the beginning of the animation, 0. And what I was seeing is if, like, okay, it faded into from A to B, it kept going past B. And then when we reverse states, it would be far past B that we then have to wait for it to come back to B just for it to go from B to A again. So we're just seeing, what we would see is it would, like in case of a fade, in the case of like the fade in for the title screen, we would see it fade in, and then it would keep going and going and going. And the longer you waited to hit a button for it to fade out and go away, the longer you had to wait for the value to turn around, come back to B with it fully shown until it started to fade. And that was because Unity doesn't clamp the time for the animation at all. Like, it just doesn't clamp the where the time is for the animation. So I had to figure out something that would work to clamp that timing, and that's what this is doing. I had to figure out something that would not only tell which direction it was moving, because we only want to do this check specifically if it's moving from A to B, towards B. At least A towards B, and well, yeah, that's literally what this is A towards B, and only if it's A towards B. Then if it passes B, then we need to make sure that multiplier parameter here is set to 0. So what it's doing is it's just, okay, you set the multiplier parameter, the parameter itself externally to the direction that you want to go, which is 1 or -1. And then when it passes that direction, you stop it. You set it to 0 and you just stop it. And that's the only way we could figure out to really clamp this thing. So very unfortunate and weird. But just by setting the multiplier, though, then you end up stopping the animation. We couldn't, like, for whatever reason, stop itself wasn't working, and I couldn't find anything that could directly interact with the state during runtime. In editor, yeah, but during runtime, I couldn't find anything that let me actually interface with it specifically. So that was one of the things that had to be worked on. The scene handling had some tweaking in it all and how things were done. Like we have, the typical on pre-scene readies and all that. The camera stack handling is what we figured out to fix input issues, or actually to fix the forward rendering issue. But then there was issues that I came across where if we go, actually I'll just demonstrate it, it'll be a little easier to understand there. Core. So if we start from starting the app, we have this universal menu button, but the problem is when we got here to the title screen, couldn't really interact with this screen and this at the same time. And so now we have that, right? So in order to achieve this behavior of being able to click this and then still have this, we had to essentially break the raycaster up, because by default the raycaster comes on canvas, and by default when we have a overlay canvas that's rendering over everything, it's going to want to be full screen. And so when you have this raycaster, graphic raycaster here on this, it means the whole screen is now a clickable region of the menu. The problem is when this whole region is clickable, only the elements inside that are children of the graphic raycaster can receive the graphic raycasts, and it blocks it if it goes to another one. So in order to have a second interactable button on the screen, the raycaster had to be confined to just over the menu button, basically. And that fixes that issue. But then now we have the issue, of, this was blocking the menu, and then, it was all kinds of silly stuff. And see, here's where that animation comes in. You see project expiration here. You see it fade away and fade in. And notice, though, that's happening immediate. But what was happening, of course, this wasn't an immediate effect. Input mechanisms we're having strange issues with, though, too. Obviously, this says press any to start. But what happens if I press the menu key? Something needed to be put into place to basically filter the menu key from triggering the press any to start. But then on top of that, I ran into an issue that if I had hit escape, per se, right, which is the cancel key. If I hit cancel, it comes back here. But what was happening as a result of it being escape and any, it would do this, as if I hit it twice. And that was because of a race condition, essentially, where we had two different things listening for it. The solution to that ended up being... It was an intentional delay that we added, I believe. Let's see, title screen. An intentional delay here to the cancel button. So the on any will still happen second in order of operations of methods. But this little test.yield, what it'll do is it'll yield this method for any other methods that happen first, basically create it to allow it to execute out of order, pushing it to the back of the queue of, the stack, if you know programming terms for that. So that way it would execute after, the back button. But yeah, we needed the back button here to happen and not trigger the on any afterwards. So what we do instead is we basically make sure that the on any triggers first by doing that. And then delay, essentially, that cancel, so the cancel happens afterwards, and that makes sure the cancel is what actually registers. Because it's a case of last one wins in this case, in this particular case. That's something we'll have to be aware of in input mechanisms in the future and later down the line, basically. But now that keeps a consistent behavior of hitting the F10 key for the menu, which, by the way, it'll be F10, not escape. Also pause, because, the pause key gets no love. It's entirely what it was designed for. It doesn't get used for this. But it will be used as the pause key, but also made F10 in case somebody doesn't have a pause key. And then, escape will universally be the cancel button, but in this particular case, it's the any button. And that's where we are. And that is about all that I had to do last week. It was a lot of the, developing the components and trying to understand Unity input system, because input system I have not used often enough the new input system. A lot of projects that I've worked on in the past honestly dropped the input system or the new input system for the old one. I can kind of see why, because that was one of the things that kind of hinted to me the issue is that this input system requires basically callbacks for everything. And there was actually a problem in that, because when you saw me last week trying to set this up, I was using the player input for the new input system, and I was trying to piggyback everything off of that. Turns out that is a dumb idea. I didn't know that it wasn't a required component. It has a obviously specific purpose of being for controlling your player. So looked into it a little more and found that what you really want to do is just use input system.actions directly like this. Find the action and then assign an action, like a callback on that action. You can still bind the keys and everything by creating a key binder and all that. So we'll be able to do that later. But you really should be setting up callbacks and clearing those callbacks. Which, oops, look at one we missed. Clearing those callbacks when the scene itself is unloaded, or in this case, the object that is managing them is destroyed. So, on cancel, those are only really two that we have going right now. Call their respective functions when it is pressed. But there are still ways to do like the more traditional thing of, checking to see if it's on down or on key press. But those are less important as just performed and released. Because it's wording that is the problem here, honestly. I don't know why they chose to call it performed and not on press, because this is really an on press condition. And then we have canceled, which is on release. So, okay. But it's also, it's mainly because these aren't buttons. These are groupings. They're mappings. You can assign these things buttons and remove buttons from them. So that's actually why it is better to move towards these and to move away from them. Especially if you want an application that you want to be able to do key bindings in. You definitely want to use a new input action system, and you want to make sure you're doing it correctly and not relying on the wrong components. So yeah. Lesson learned there. But yeah, there are still ways, like if we do this same action, we can do that is pressed. And that's basically, okay, something is depressing this action in some way. Like it could be any number of keys. That makes it nice in that regard. But this is basically like if this was just the escape key, performed would be on key, escape key press. Is press is, hey, is the escape key still pressed down? And then on cancel would be, okay, someone did you just let go of the escape key? So you still get the same kind of mappings, but it gives you callbacks to work with, so you can make it more pragmatic or programmable or whatever. Yeah, we can get rid of all that. Okay. So that is, the summary of the week for what was happening with the project. But now you'll probably see that I had a like a little special stream where we went over Monster Hunter Wilds, and yeah, it's, I wanted an excuse to play it and then do a stream of it. But hey, it's good learning lessons, because we saw a lot of interesting things that we are doing, thankfully. So with the shader that I've written so far, we have the ability to do the things that Monster Hunter Wilds does. But it made it a little more obvious to how we can achieve some UI stuff. Because one part of it is, creating the beautiful environments and the beautiful interactions and all that, and creating fluid gameplay. But then, what is it all if you don't also have a nice looking UI with it all? It looks like they use a lot of shaders, as I pointed out in the UI, to render special effects behind text and with text. So those UI elements are going to be pretty interesting. And the knee-jerk reaction to a normal Unity developer is, oh, this is probably using an animation. No, don't do that. I will guarantee you most of the effects that you're seeing in Monster Hunter Wilds for their UI stuff is not being done with the animation. It's being done with shaders. Shaders are just a little faster. I don't know. Maybe there's a way that I can develop something to make it easier. A shader or shader toolkit that will allow for special effects like those kind of special effects. But a lot of them look like very specific purpose-built shaders for a certain effect for text and for UI elements. So it's probably the route we're going to end up going for ourselves. But it was things like little shiny glistening and scrolling UV, scrolling highlights along the UV and scrolling or fading along UVs and things like that. And yeah, I don't know. It's also my knee-jerk reaction coming from shader development mostly. So yeah, that'd probably be the way I'd approach it, and we'll be approaching it for this. Yep. But yeah, let's talk about something really important because people have obviously a certain thing happened yesterday, and this is one of the rare times that I'll bring politics into the stream. But I'm not gonna debate. I'm not gonna we're not here to debate why anything. But I'm just gonna explain essentially. And I'm going to explain, what I am, what it means, and why I voted what I did, I guess. Because if it's probably not obvious, I voted, what I like to tell people, not Trump. And more specifically, not the Republican Party. And I'll explain my reasoning for that. And that is the Republican Party in the U.S. Is heavily driven by conservatives. And the conservatives have been pushing agendas that don't have anything to do with the fiscal problems of the United States and the problems that I'm personally suffering from. For me, I am a trans woman. Just like anyone else, though, I want to have a family. My personal dreams in that and what I want from life and have for a while is find a partner, settle down with them, be in a good job, preferably in software development, preferably dream wise would obviously be game development, and then some kind of AI with it all, or something, because it's in between AI and game development for me. But also art, and looking at, around my avatar here, art is just something also that comes along with the whole indie game dev world and whatnot. But, I just like anybody else, I want to be successful. And in being successful, I want to have family. That's also part of why I chose for this to be more family friendly of a stream, is because I don't want to be associated with the negativity that people assume with the LGBT community and stuff like that. And it's an assumption. For whatever reason, a lot of people have this heavy belief that sex is heavily intertwined with being queer. And it's not. Like it's horrible because I'll see people suddenly come out and the first thing that's on their mind is sex, 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 sex. And it's like, yo, stop. Like, I don't want to see you you don't need to show off your, legs to me. Like, I don't care. I don't care to see your thighs. I don't care to see your legs. Like, no, I get it. You're happy that you found yourself, but you don't need to become a sexual deviant on top of it. Like, chill. And that has honestly been a problem I've had with, with things. I personally do identify as being gender-wise female, sex-wise male, which is a little complicated, I know. But I do see myself wanting to look and appear feminine and female. But I also realize I like women and what I want out of that, or at least feminine, and what I desire from that. And we don't have to go into those details, but that's just what it is. Yeah, and I just feel like that stuff doesn't need to be mixed in with sex, like whatever. But part of it too is I want to eventually have children in some way, because I do want family. So it would be me, a partner, and our family. But that would also mean that I would either need like a surrogate or some means for a child. Preferably, I would, my hopes would be a surrogate, but I'm also okay with adopting. But that's like, I don't know. That's personal. That is my life that I've chosen and what I want. But like, I don't see how that has anything to do with politics and why it should be anyone else's concern or anyone else's, reason to for anything. So there you have it. There's me. Those are my mentality and that part of it. And the reason why I voted not Trump and not Republican especially is because the Republican Party has this Project 2025 nonsense. Even if Trump himself denies it, the rest of the party has to. It's not just Trump that has to deny and reject 2025. The rest of them have to. But the fact that it's published with a major name behind it and it's sitting out there on the internet making the outrageous extreme claims that they do, until the entire party at whole says we're not doing this and this should be eradicated, themselves should say that, then I cannot trust that party. And I believe both sides, Republican and Democrat, are trying to fix this nation otherwise. So for me, I'd rather it just not be the one that's actively trying to fuck me over. So both want, for the better good. Both want to try to fix this country, which honestly, I'll just say it, we've given away all of our labor to other nations, and now we have nothing left inside the US, really. We barely have any jobs. It's falling apart. Stuff's getting more expensive. And stuff's getting more expensive because there's not enough money moving, and there's not enough moving inside the continental US. So we need to do something about that. But I feel both sides know that and are trying to do something. So yeah, whatever. And that's politics. I'm not gonna get into too deep of it. But now you know where I stand and whatever. And I will say this though, if anyone ever comes in this channel and they come in here with the attitude that LGBT people or queer people are evil, they're not welcome here. not welcome here. So, yeah, I hate to say this, but if you subscribe to me or you follow me and you are one of those people, just do us all a favor and unsubscribe. Block me if you have to. I don't want to put up with your mess. I personally do not condone any act of hate, unless, like, that hate is obviously illegal. And I can't even say that anymore these days because some of the things that are becoming illegal are just ridiculous. But I mean, pedophilia, like, we all know that's wrong. Yeah, but it's just also it's saddening how these people associate queer with being that, and that is so baseless. It is not the case. But it also doesn't help that, like I said, the person I explained earlier, someone like that comes along and they have the impression of the same thing. And so when they suddenly come out as queer, they make us all look bad. they go full tilt crazy, and they're the ones that that these conservatives are complaining about. Yeah, please don't do that. It's my personal request to all those kinds of people, to anyone coming out as queer. Don't immediately make it about sex, and don't go full tilt sexual deviant. We don't need that. So yes, moving on. Let us get into the project and not think about what is going on in the world and these terrible things. So fixing the one thing, I now want to apply that to this because we did I did the title where I fixed that fade, but now, like, I don't know, maybe we don't need to do that here. This is for the menu? Oh, it is. It is for the menu. Okay, we do need to fix it because it's the menu. Yeah, because see, there's what happens. With this system, the menu does this. And it looks really bad. So let's fix that too. So in this particular case, we have, of course, yeah, fade. It should be... Oh, this is what's interesting, is because now, right... Fade out would be the first transition. No, fade in is the first transition. No, it doesn't matter because all of it is just fade. There shouldn't be a transition here. No condition, no transition. Get rid of that. Okay, so fade in, we want this to have the same deal, parameter. Huh. I hope I don't use that as Boolean because, boop. Multiplier, was it, what, I don't know. I don't know if it should be consistently named, but I should probably consistently name it. Title screen, we call it direction. Okay, oh, that makes sense, never mind. Direction. Okay, so we assign parameter direction. There we go. All right, so now we have animation clamp. All right, so now we need to change the menu key and the way that was behaving. See, now we need to do if menu shown. Well, actually, we could probably just do set float like that. And then we say direction. And then we say, hey, is the menu shown? We do a simple ternary. Menu shown, then if we send in 1. If it's not shown, we send -1. Oops. We set it to -1. Okay. And then, of course, it'll set it to 0 when it reaches its point. But is fade, because it says fade in and it says fade. Is it really that's what's happening? Main menu. So in, out. Okay, there we go. So if it's 1, it's showing. So menu shown. Okay, it should show. And let's see if it works. Look at that. See, boop, 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 boop. Or boop, boop. And you see it actually in the animation lining there, where it's actually bouncing back and forth. It's very nice. It's very, very, very nice. So there we go. Now we have our nice fade in, fade outs for things, and doing it in a way that's practical. So now all that's done. Now we need to actually begin the character selection thing, but we need to know like which character or which option we're on. We basically need to set up the screen animation or the input for things. Okay, so I can do this in a few different ways, I suppose. I can, and honestly, we probably could have, if we would have done it this way, we probably could have avoided the behavior of having to do on cancel here, because we could have removed on any when that hit, and then on cancel could like basically I can assign methods here and then deassign methods, or I can just have these methods assigned on everything and then sort it out by state. So there's two things I can do here essentially. I can have it check the state on an action, or I can set the methods by the state of what the screen state is. And I need to think about that for a sec, which would be the better approach. Because obviously, like the cancel button, right? That's why we have the switches here. In the start game, we have a switch. We check the state. But if we did methods, if we did method assignment, we can get rid of these switches. But then we'd still need a switch when changing state. Well, no, because then it would become a finite state machine, and we wouldn't have to do any switching at all. We'd just be method changing. So we would have to, but we'd have to do method grouping for the title screen controller, which means we would need some child components here. Or, I mean, I can do child components and break it off, and then make this. What we can do is make this class a partial. So public partial. And then we'd have another one that would be, the character screen, or the title portion of the screen. So we'd have, a central core, and then character and then title that would map methods and unmap methods when switching between those. The problem in doing that is the setup. It is a lot of instructions to add on any and on cancel, like we would have to do a bunch of these and then do a bunch of these just on that transaction, which could lead to it taking longer for that transaction and could cause hitching. So we can, which I think I've already answered my question, because the layer part of that is doing all that work to assign methods and remove methods just to do that handoff is and going to cause hitching the larger it gets. Where if we have them predefined and we do switches, we can, hand it off without having to do a bunch of assignment. Hacking it? No, we're not hacking into the mainframe. We're making a game. At the current moment, as was mentioned, you weren't. You're just tuning in, so I get it. We're at the state of hitting the title screen, and now we're building out the part of the framework to this game for getting to the character selection screen. Well, not the character selection, but the character creation. So I am working on currently the title screen, but the title screen composes of two things: the title front and the character selection. So yeah, let's do. Boop, 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 boop. I think we will stick with the way we're going now, because like I said, answering my own question, if we don't use switches, we're going to end up doing assignments, and assignments for methods especially for callbacks are just going to end up hitching things. So, boop. Case UI, wait, I don't even know what I'm writing here. That's on cancel. We need methods here for left and right selections. Why is it giving me at when I hit equals? I'm in British layout. Or not equals, but yeah, double quotes. Okay, so what are our mappings? We have edit. Why did I move that over here anyways? Moved it off screen by accident. Project settings, okay. So UI, do I have next and previous navigations? Like I have menu, middle click. Don't really have an up, down, left, or navigate. Never mind. Derp, it's right here. Navigate. Okay, so but I see. Navigate. And then apparently up. Is that what I would hit? It's well, we'll see if that does it. But actually we want in this case left and right. I don't know if that needs to be async. Oh, and of course, with these, we need a callback context. So then switch state. case UI state selection. Don't know what to do there yet, but let's just make sure that we get left and right. Just add like little comment, or well, comment, whatever confirmation. And now just as a verification, because we want to make sure that those are happening only when in the actual character selection bit. That's interesting. There's a little glitch that happened there. Let's see if we can see it again. Ooh, did I see? Oh, I shouldn't have cleared that so fast. I think I saw an error. That would explain what might have happened. Something might have gotten unassigned. Oh yeah, the camera tweening was something done last week. Over the last week, that is. Oh, okay, so this is coming up null, which is not good. So how do we get at left then from UI navigate? We have an action, navigate, and that is this. But is it really gamepad? I don't like how that is grouped in there. Add binding with modifiers, add, okay. Add up, down, left, right, composite. I wonder if it's, well, I mean, that is a composite. Well, what is that when I add that? 2D vector. And so, yeah, keyboard and gamepads are 2D vectors. But do I have to specify that specifically, that it needs to be gamepad left? That would be really annoying if it is, isn't it? Wouldn't it? You know, I was in the process of testing if Pumpkin was getting enabled and disabled for her thing. And I blinked and kind of carried on. Never mind, you saw that. Random torrents of torning, yeah. What shape, Pumpkin? What the heck? Oh, you know what? I know why it's not doing. Wait, no, it is open. Is the API for her reply or working? Wait, because no, she was doing say and not say. So I wonder. Oh, because you know what? I think it's because I was hitting the wrong keys. Yeah, I was hitting Tarkov. I'm sorry, what's Tarkov? Tarkov. Trying to remember. Meow. I don't know. Maybe? Question mark? Oh, Tarkov is a game. Okay. I usually just play whatever my friend group is playing in the evenings, honestly. It's like, oh, you guys are up doing this. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so we still got another error there.
Error. That's just my cat senses tingling, warning me of impending doom.
Yeah,
Or a coding mistake.
Something like that, but yeah, it's a coding mistake, Pumpkin. Do you have any idea what I do with Unity input systems and how I find an action when it's the left key? Pumpkin?
Ooh, Unity input systems. Ha. Oh, yes. You can find the action by using input action.find action. And if it's the left key, I think you'd use input.get key down. Am I right, human?
No, unfortunately you are wrong. But with find action, it takes a path, UI slash, and a thing. In this case, UI slash navigation slash what do I use? Because I'm confused here.
Ooh, I see. Oh, yes. You're looking for UI/navigation/left. That should do the trick, human.
You sure? Let's find out, I guess.
Hee, fingers crossed, human. May the coding gods be with us.
Well, you see, because the binding was set up with a 2D vectory thing.
Alpha. I knew
Yeah,
it.
it said object reference not set to an
It's
instance
always
on
those
object.
sneaky 2D vectors, isn't it, human?
I suppose we can actually just have it iterate over all the actions, couldn't we?
Oh dear, null reference, eh? Well, I guess that's what I get for trying to be a know-it-all pumpkin cat girl.
Yeah, you didn't do too good there. Nice try, though.
Hee, okay, I admit it. I'm a pumpkin cat girl of many talents, but coding wizardry isn't quite my forte. Yet.
No, you're just a goober. Alright, setting her back to silent. She tried. But we can actually find it by having it print out what all the paths are. I don't know what Unity is making that specific path. Wait a minute, did I really do it? No. We dot. Count? Yeah, count there. What's funny is I did this recently, and now I forget how to even do this part of it. Yeah, it says this is an array. So it should be I. But it's a string? Okay, let's do this a different way then. Maybe it's something that can be iterated over. I have no idea what it is. So we'll just do that, and then action dot what? We got action map. We got name. No path. No path. Name. Maybe the name contains the path. We need to figure out what that path is. That is true. That is why she's here. She's a little. She isn't co-pilot, but she's got personality. Heck, of course. These things are. What the hell am I looking at here? Move? Point, click. Attack, look. UI camera. This is going off of. Oh, there's any in menu. Actually, it does look like it's pulling the ones from UI as well. Let's see though. Poop. Yeah, we went navigate though. Move came up. Didn't navigate come up? I guess we can do it. Dang it. This way, navigate. There it is, navigate. Okay. There is a navigate. If I do actions dot find action, What we have is an action map, but not in bindings. I don't know, what's in bindings, I guess. Binding dot, oh, there's an action. But, what names? What names have we got in there? Boop. So this is a case of something where I don't know how to deal with these 2D vectory things, whatever they're called, whatever. See, project settings, what was it? Emphasis, this is a, oops, what? No, not an action. No, what are you doing? It is just a 2D vector. Whatever. I was saying it right the whole time. Okay, yeah, we skipped it. I accidentally cleared the console. Or it was still stuck in searching. That's what it was doing. Okay, so that has some interesting things in there. Up, down, left, right, gamepad, keyboard, blank, whatever blank is. Binding? Well, we don't want to change binding, but maybe... Let's see. Unity input... Well, input system... Get or find action with 2D vector. Yeah, that doesn't help. I think what's going to probably happen here is we have to do we have to create an action on only navigate. And the callback context probably will have what direction was pressed when performed. Right, because yeah, this is a 2D vector, thinking about it, it's probably meant to be read, not triggered. Because yeah, you don't normally read or trigger on a joystick. So that does lead to an interesting paradigm here, because now this needs to be something done in update. Thinking about it. See, Unity input system get 2D vector state. Maybe somebody has a better example of how you're supposed to read the, or you can just look at the input examples. Player look, player moved. It's just on look, on move. But then it doesn't say what to do with it afterwards. So I guess what we do need here is actually performed, in this case, on navigate. But we need to know which direction we're navigating here. There's dead zoning, which is interesting. Do. How do they want me to read it, though? So there should be states on them, actually, then. It looks like that are like positive, negative, and things like that. But yeah, what about in 2D though, not 1D? 1D axis negative, positive, but what we have is actually up, down, left, and right. So here, perhaps callback context dot. There it is. Read value? That doesn't look good. Responding to actions. Maybe that'll help, actually, this little section here, I guess, so you can see what I'm looking at. Of course, it's this. Let me see, yeah, find action, shield, teleport, etc., things like that. But what about navigate? No, nothing in here about navigating. cool. Like, I get it. That's how you use buttons, but now how do we actually make the character move? Or something move, UI-wise? Yeah, you see they show here, like, okay, you set look and move on look and on move, but what does the on look and on move methods look like? Like, good job. Good documentation. Amazing. Tells me so much. Alright, Pumpkin, maybe you do know something. But what we have here is an action map where we have an action of...
hello, School-chan. What's brewing? You need some pumpkin-powered assistance.
Maybe, if you can. We have an action off of an action map.
Well, that's a good thing, right? We haven't messed it up. Yet.
Okay, and then from the action map, though, we have... our on action, but the on action then needs to handle a vector 2D. What do we do to read that vector 2D after the action in the action callback?
Ooh, vector 2D, eh? Well, we'd need to use the event parameter in the action callback to access that vector 2D. Don't you think, School-chan?
Well, yes, but what is it called? What do we do?
Hehe, gotcha. We use event.getValue to fetch that vector 2D, duh.
There is no get value. She's gonna be wrong. But yeah, let's dig a little more to see if we can
My
find...
whiskers are all a twitch. We use event / data to get that vector 2D, right, School-chan?
Devices, interactions, processors. None of this really... You see, this is what led me to believing that player input component was the thing that I needed to use when it's not. Okay. And we need to find though. This is, yeah, the player input component, input system 112, whatever. Using Unity input system to navigate. Oh boy, seems like there might be a plethora of bugs that still have not been fixed or dealt with, but let's see. I'm not seeing any of this actually reflect anything code-wise. It's just a bunch of, oh, here's what it is, here's how it was set up, but not like actually showing examples. For movement and rhetoric. Okay. If this
Today
guy
I'll be
uses
showing you
player
how to
input,
use Unity's input system.
I'm gonna scream. Okay, so there's that, there's that, there's that. Okay, blah 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 blah. Oh my god, please. And see, no, already there's a problem because they created a category of move and then created W. Wait, that's, oh, those are vector 2Ds that she created. Okay, but how is she accessing those in code? In code, come on. Is there any code? Okay, code. Player, okay, that's, oh, read value vector 2. Oh, it is read value. Well, fuck me sideways. Sorry, family friendly. Uh, and let's see, debug.log dir. Oh, well, we shouldn't be seeing those, but okay. Well, yeah, there it is. Yep. Why the heck is... Oh, because it's interesting. It's giving me normalized values even. Well, that's going to be an interesting conundrum, though, too. Maybe I do, just for this specific sake, need to do keybind or method bindings. But like I said, if it get, the more complicated it gets, it's gonna hitch, and so I don't want to do that. I have to get it to work without method binding. Wow. But yeah, so this is working. This is where things get interesting, though, because is it like a pass threshold for navigation kind of thing? We need to test some things here. So we're at the character select screen. Why are we at the character select screen? The heck? It wasn't supposed to just jump right in. Oh, because right click caused it. I see. Okay. From here, up, down, left, and right shouldn't be able to do anything. Okay, except that. But then we got a 0 mark on that. So that means it's getting through. We are having the problem of any happening and then the state changing before on navigate occurs. And then we have the case of input filtering not occurring. This is what I was afraid we were going to run into, because now we have a case where on any should occur before anything else, but it should always occur before anything else. So it doesn't cause the other things to trigger. But the problem with the problem with on any occurring before anything else is when on navigate, it's gonna switch screens to character select immediately on any. Yeah, it's like when we're doing any state change, it almost seems like we should have a wait before it does its state change. I think what we really need is a public void, async void, change state, new UI state, new state. And then we immediately do an await task.yield because we want it to wait a frame. And then we say, we have it state equals UI state dot, or new state. Okay, so now we need anything that does actually change state to delay the state change. Same deal here. Kind of make it just happen at the end. So that way if anything does cause a state change, we delay. All right, let's see what happens. Making a game. Well, hello HT. Yes, we're making a game here, and currently fighting with Unity input and the new input system and learning it because I have never actually been forced to use the new Unity input system because everyone's always just assumed new Unity input system bad, but it actually is way more programmable and pragmatic than the old one. Okay, so any key, escape, escape. Hey, wait, what happened there? Oh wait, it did what it was supposed to. Okay. Okay, so we're not getting the double up problem. From the title screen, I can hit left. I should, the selection is weird. Okay, so I hit left, and we still get this problem. Oh, but then that's, oh, I see, right. Okay, so it's not an on-down in this particular case. It is always every frame. Or is it? Oh, it is on state change, actually. But why are we having the issue here then? So, here we are. Press left. Oh, so now you want to be on release. Because on state change to 000. Never mind. I guess that is fine. And if it's just 000, I just need to throw it away. Yeah, that prevents this issue from happening. For input like the menu navigation. Okay, so if vector2 is there vector2.any? No. Should I write an any? On any. What is on any? On any is on any. But the question is, do I really want to be dumb and write a utility method for this, or do I want to just roll with it? I'll roll with it. Okay, if it becomes a problem, I'll fix it. I guess in this particular case, we actually want to do if that and that. And then we'll want to actually just break. And then we'll handle our navigation. So now we say if of dirx is less than 0. And I realize I'm being silly because we're just probably going to do this anyways. Okay. Now we can say debug.log left and debug.log right. I could just load the title screen to avoid all that, but yeah. Okay, so there's left. Okay, yep, move to title screen and left, okay, and right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Moot right now because, I mean, you know, we don't have multiple characters, even pick room. So let's set up the enter key. Or the selection key. Let's see. Boo boo doo boo 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 boo. Gotta always look it up what it's called. It's really kind of silly. Submit in this case. Yes, because submit and cancel, we want submit. You shall submit. Okay, so there we go. Switch date. Course case UI state character select break. Okay, so now if it is a character selection, we need some kind of context. I'm just going to leave a note here. We need some kind of context to which character is selected. In this particular case, let's go ahead with creating a private int character index equals -1. Actually, we can use that to our advantage of knowing. Nope, never mind. 0. I guess we're just gonna have to use positive. This will be easier because of the array of characters here. Character. I really don't think we need a. There's going to be more in the metadata here than game object of the character and transform character and the camera position pointing at the character. But private bool new. No, because I mean we know 0 is going to always be new. Okay, so we'll leave it here. 0 is always new. If character index, just to get it out of the way, equals 0. And actually, we can set that up here already then. We can say if, or character index plus, well, left minus, and character index plus. And so we can do then the check. less than 0, character index equals 0. If character index is greater than characters length, actually we want to do a wraparound here. Characters length. Okay, so we actually do need if dir.x equals 0, break, because we don't want to. We just don't want to ignore it if it's not negative 1 or 1. But this could be interesting because now, heck, this will get interesting when somebody presses up left and it's 0.77 and it goes from negative 1 to 0.77. So meaning someone pressed left, then up left, left, then up left. This would cause the navigation to continuously trigger this on state change. Thunk. Because they interpolated it, or normalized it, this happens. So this actually ends up needing to be if x is less than, well, greater than negative 0.8, or dir.x is less than 0.8, we break. Alrighty. The other alternative is just to check for this ourselves anyways, but this is on state change, so it's more useful. Yeah, well, this is fine. Okay, so now this becomes character and dot length -1. So okay, if we have one character, currently what we do, character index minus would mean -1. So if it's -1, it's less than 0. It should wrap around and just become 1 again. We have one character, so it should be 0. That should work. Now if we have 3, and that would mean the length would be 3. The number we need is 2. Yes, okay. And in this case, of course, yeah, it'd be easy enough to just say character index equals 0. Do 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 do. And this is where things are going to get interesting. Because now we finally have a means of selecting the new character prompt. And we now need to create the scene for that. We have to register the scene, of course. Oh, that's wrong. Why is my default? What is it? Default company. And yeah, we can get rid of the URP part on that. But player, yeah, I was in the right place. I don't know why I moved away. Except it's not. It's build. Weird. Here we go. Okay, so now of course we can have it do its handoff. Just as we from scenes controller. We say load title screen. Well, really, we can just have an external here. Public void load character select screen. And then load scene character select. Okay, and so scenes controller, character select, or load character screen. Instance, of course, oops. Yeah, I should do it there. We haven't really done or created the things needed for this quite yet, I guess. Now that we have this part, now we need a character screen, character creation screen controller. Yeah, hello. Thanks for stopping in. I should move this chat window to the other side of OBS here. There we go. So I'm not stretching my neck all the way over just to re-chat. Boop. Cool, there we go. Control. And there's that. Let it compile. We'll want to change some of this, obviously. And I should have used a cleaner one than this. Yeah, we want to get rid of pretty much all of that. Anything here, an update. Goodbye. This stuff needs to go. All this needs to go. We don't have it on any yet. Start game is, yeah, that's a gone. We're gonna need that, but nothing in it yet. And yeah. So main camera, okay, universal camera data, but we need the character select. Character, oh, yeah, why did I call it character select for a scene? I don't know. Let's change the name correctly. Character creation. Alright, now let's see if the handoff is working. We should end up seeing that, and it should be a dead screen, of course. And nothing happened. Move to character select, right? Yeah, called the method, obviously. And here it is, start game. Wait, move to character select. Oh, what is the submit key then for the keyboard? Windows. Okay, not why am I looking at that? Thanks, Pumpkin. Anyways, yeah, UI, submit. What was I just looking at anyways? Oh yeah, we can get rid of that. Boop. Is button east on the gamepad? Okay, what about on the keyboard? Let's see, do we even have any? Yeah, obviously cancel we set up to be universally the escape key. We never set up anything for the keyboard. Okay, that explains why it's maybe not working. Add binding, keyboard, enter key, I guess we can use. And for those who have it, we can also set that up to numpad enter. Mouse, I guess there's not really a submit, but we'll want to set up a button on the character like thing where it's its name, which would probably need to be something like where it has a new the name would need to just read new character instead. I don't know if I want to add that now specifically, because I'm really wanting to get into working on the character selection and not have to work on the little tiny details like that. Okay, now let's see if the handover works. Or the handoff. Boop, boop, boop. Scene character select could not be loaded because that's why did I name it that? Why did I name it that? Derp. Okay, there we go. Character creation. Stop. Okay. Oh, hey, there it really loaded fast. That is kind of something though I want to add an effect of there though. I kind of want it to kind of fade off into the distance for a second and not just necessarily just switch over so fast. But yeah, we made it to character selection screen, our creation screen. Now let's create a character. Ooh, this is where things are gonna get fun. Did I make it where that has to require? Yeah, because, okay. It is going to be set up where it needs to be and everything. Okay. So this is now that we have this little interface, we have our to the environment from this method. So when this thing starts up, that's when we need to, well, there's things that are in here that need to load with the environment. Because looking at different ways of people have been doing it, it's always been like you have a subset of meshes and whatnot. And I think we need to actually start by having that content there and all sitting in here. But the problem is loading it and unloading it actually at this point, and loading and unloading into this, scene. Um, in the most simplistic sense, there is what, web phishing does, and is really generic and simple. They load everything into like one avatar system, and then they just swap outfits and everything over the top of it. And then people found this out and started importing it this way into VR chat. So there's actually a web phishing avatar. The problem with that, of course, is now there's like 1 million skin meshes all loaded at once when the avatar is downloaded. And that is not good. This is where we really just, I guess, start creating some assets, and we need a few different base options. I guess, yeah, let's use my avatar for this. Wow. So here is my avatar, of course. There was a disaster recovery, so I had to do some weird stuff. So this may not be perfect. Yeah, I will admit I goofed and hard drive decided to take a shit on itself. This happened from when I converted back from Linux to Windows. The D drive, which is my large partition, I had thought I had everything backed up on that drive. I should probably tell it to back up after the stream, just for the sake of making sure I keep a good backup. Talking about it is making me paranoid about it already. But when I switched back to Linux and went to change the partition over to NTFS, something went wrong in the conversion process. And so I had to reformat it. That lost everything on the whole 12 terabyte drive. And I failed to back things up before doing that, which was dumb of me. Yeah. Or I should say I failed to double check the backup because I had thought it was backed up and it wasn't. I had found FBXs lying around with everything, and I had I found my Unity project, but no raw files, so I had to restore raw files from that, which sucked. But anyways, let's we have an outfit on this. I really don't want to go through the whole art of right now of trying to create a whole different outfit. But what we want to start with this character selection is getting different components and pieces together. The things that we'll want to consider with this is the hair. Ears will probably count as the hair. The outfit and what goes on in the outfit, like boots and things like that. If we want shoes, feet, if we want to split tops and bottom. I'm debating that right now. The second, let's write this stuff out. So we have the different components that we'll want is probably hair / ears, if cat. In this case, cat. Upper, lower is the PSO2 standard. And even then it's not, because what PSO2 uses is outer inner. So there is no upper lower. The inner dictates, what they have is outer, base, inner, actually, and those dictate the different pieces of clothing where the like base equals like innerwear plus shoes, where inner is actually underwear and outer is jackets, covers, etc. For PSO2. So understanding that, FF14 is equipment. So that is, hat, coat, well, armor, and then there's boots. So not bottoms, but boots, gloves. I think that's, what are the Final Fantasy 14 armor pieces? I mean, yeah, there's shields. If I log into Final Fantasy 14's website, I should be able to, yeah, see my own character when I have on it. Oh boy. Which one was I? I don't remember. Okay, so yeah, I just picked a random one. Here we go. There's Beyond Final Fantasy 14. They had a head, body, hands, legs, feet. So they did have legs. But the reason they have all this is because it's equipment, but it also is what created their fashion to be so dynamic. But it also would be really complicated, where in the case of our little fishing game, web fishing, you have hat, shirt or top, bottom, and feet. Right. I think yeah. And then Throne and Liberty. Throne and Liberty was solid outfits, though, wasn't it? Yeah, Throne and Liberty was solid outfits. So they didn't have, well, we can even add that here as part of our research. Throne and Liberty, solid outfits. And of course, hair. They had hair, different hair, but it was hair and outfits. They didn't have any in between. So that leads us to deciding how we're going to do this. I think the best compromise has been here with web fishing, where it's hair, ears, upper, lower, feet, different shoes, different accessory or bases, bottoms. But then that also raises the question on whether or not cat. And that is a thing in itself. I'm certain the furries would definitely appreciate if they could have their tails and ears. But it's more of a question of how do we want tails and ears to be implemented. And it's not really like, well, yeah, I don't know. It is furries. There are Neko mimis, or, kimono mimis, as they would be called, who just like to have, and in this particular case, if it's not obvious, I'm one of them, who like to just have tails and ears and not necessarily be animals. But like, how to set that up? I think we will do definitely hair, upper, lower, feet, and accessory, which is what PSO2 also has, so we should add that on there. And then we can set a matching subset of accessories that would be like cat, tail, and ears, like that kind of deal. I think we'll take that approach. So let's actually bring up the document for this. Oh, wow, it's 4 o'clock already. We spent that much time on that little bit of it. Yikes. All because of input navigation being weird and different and unexpected. Okay, so I'm digging too far into that. Planning. Wireframe. So art style design is probably in design. Character creation. Like, let's look for wherever I put that in this. It's the progress flow. Okay. Concepts and inspiration. Character creation. Character structure. So we have that finite defined. Let's see, this is heading 2, so this would be heading 3. There's no heading 3, so bold. Okay. And then we'd have, we want a bullet list, I guess. Hair, upper body, lower body, I'll call it fashion because feet just sounds. I'll call this hair customization. Actually, just get rid of it. It's implied here. I don't even know why I'm really doing all that. And then accessories. Cat and tail ears. Dog and tail. Okay, so that's our base structure kind of things. Hair. There is another factor in here that we need to focus on as the face, and then we have iris, eyebrows will be a thing, eyelashes will be a thing that to choose from. We will need to implement those different little pieces of the face. I don't think we need, well, like, face itself would be obviously the whole head and how it's changed. Yeah, that's probably actually part of the upper body fashion, this little bit here. But now, like, how this all implements together, like, meshes together is going to be the interesting part, component-wise. But yeah, as for the face, we have, brows, lashes, iris, like, the iris texture and color. I mean, that's it. And then the rest of it is customizations, individual, not, we'll call this character mesh structure, actually, not the character settings, because the settings will be different in each component. Each component, as necessary, will have features to adjust. Okay, so we'll just put it in here. The mesh structure of a character will contain a combination of choices based on the following. And then each component, as necessary, will have features to adjust length, thickness, position, color, things like that. Like, okay, how long is the face? Where's the cheekbones? Where is this part? That kind of stuff, that, like, just putting it in there so it's listed and labeled. Okay, now, I think I'm satisfied with that. I don't know. Thoughts? Anyone? Is there anything that you would want to see specifically customized in this? I don't want to overcomplicate it because I don't want to overwhelm the user. I've used overcomplicated systems before and just thought, like, what am I doing here? And then I failed to actually look at Monster Hunter Wilds' full, system, but theirs had kind of the same deal as Throne Liberty, actually. So, I mean, it was literally just the same as Throne Liberty, except that, it's more like Throne Liberty meets Final Fantasy 14, which is still wrong because it really is just more like Final Fantasy 14 because it's heavily based on the equipment, the fashion that's in that game. We won't really have equipment, we'll have your upper body, lower, like, you'll have your fashion, you're going to be you, and you're going to look the part of you for the game. So the thing that you would want in here is not you would want to look like you fit your role in the role in this RPG in a sense. So basically, like, the power-ups are going to be what affects more your weapons and things around you. Hey, thanks. I mean, we already have our own Discord. You're welcome to join it and speak there. But thanks. Yeah. Anyways, so thinking. I think I am satisfied with this structure, though. Simply because, I mean, I don't want, keep it simple, stupid. But also, like, I think this would have the most impact and expressing yourself and keeping it simple. So, okay. Now we need to chop me up for that scenario. So like I said, the ears and tails should be their own accessory. So we're gonna start by chopping me up into different pieces. And now, yeah, the storage of it all is kind of the interesting part of how do I want to handle storage. I do think that it all needs to go into individual FBXs. So let's start actually by taking this out of the Skoldex thingy there and bringing it over to the project. Doop, 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 doop. We'll just use me as the base character for now. This is where we need a folder, new. I used to call it pre-assets. I guess I'm just going to stick with that. It's been my thing and way of doing it. So pre-assets. All right. Right in there into pre-assets. I'll just call it what it is, me. Okay. Yeah. Let's start by chopping it up. Now that we've saved it. Why is this view in something funky though? This is in a very odd layout. What did I do? Here we go. I was like, what is this layout? Okay, so we have body, face, and jacket so far. Yeah, this is going to need to change up because there's a third mesh here that needs to exist. But doesn't. Right. PSO2, what they like to do is when they create an outfit, they actually create the outfit over every base they have, and they store that into one mesh. But they also mesh combine. They take those bases and add it over, like they merge meshes to create, a solid mesh. I am so torn on how I want to do this now because, yeah, there's going to be a body mesh. There's going to be an upper clothing mesh that goes over the body component, but the body is going to vary between outfit to outfit because the body, to optimize it, needs to be chopped up in special ways. And I'm pretty certain what they're doing to do that is they're chopping it somehow on the fly, I think, because there's different, but it's not. No, that is all wrong because there is only one body type in PSO2. There's either male or female. There's two body types. And so, yeah, actually they store the mesh, they store the outfits with each individual body type. Huh. I think that'll be okay. Because right now, like, my body type here is really thin. We'll start with that and go with it, I guess. Go with the flow. But then, like, yeah, how do we handle things in a game like this with something like that? I mean, that's more something visible in VR chat than in a game, though. So I probably might end up flattening those, but maybe give characters an option to paint those. if it's a certain body type. Right, so let's add that to the notes here, or the wireframe and notes. There will be two primary body types. Okay, so yeah, I didn't say that out loud, but I probably should have, but just so it's clear to how like this kind of thing would work. As I was saying, there's two types of body meshes in general. You have the body type and the fashion type. In this particular case, we now have then the body type. We have two different primary body types. In this particular case, we'll do one that's male-ish, one that's female-ish. And so with that said, we have male and female. We use those and bake like the components that are relevant of those body type meshes into the fashion meshes. The fashion meshes should be the fashion itself, for that type, for that area, that region of the mesh. So in this case, the upper body. The upper body should then be baked in with the body type that we have. So one of the things I need to do here before I even set off on this is to create the body type. But then we need to break off that body type and this is where I said earlier, and this might be a little bit of a problem because I have to do a little bit of modeling to restore some of it. But we then break off that body type to the fashion. So that gets baked into our fashion piece. Then those fashion pieces can be put together like a puzzle piece to form the end character. And yeah, let's go. Whee! What is missing here though? There's some component pieces here missing. Because now, like, yeah, there's this, and that, but where's the hide and shows? Something happened to my view here. Oh, okay, that's what happened to my view here. I don't know what I was looking at. Was that data? Maybe the data. I think I was looking for dead, broken data and trying to remove it. Okay, so now though, like, we do that, but then like, I had to essentially make a naked version of me here, or at least bodiless. I'm gonna look at something real quick off scene though. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. We're gonna need, well, I kind of want to redo the textures, but not really. The original textures were made with the GIMP, believe it or not, because I did all this on Linux, of course, when I made this avatar. But unfortunately, those original raw textures are gone. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. Oh, because I'm looking in the wrong freaking folder entirely. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do, or temporarily do this. I need to check a texture. So this is going to get also kind of interesting because now I'm going to also have to break apart this texture because it's already Atlas 2 even. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to show it on the screen. There's it's not the naughty bits you might think of, but I will admit that there's a little bit of a slight naughty bit on here. Let's just go ahead and filter that out there. Okay, there we go. And of course, you know, when I come back, you'll be able to know what I mean, but I'm not going to say it because I'll let that be what you think it was if you're not a child. Okay, so now we need to break this apart, actually, into its individual pieces. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo. And yeah, we need to also remove things like that because that doesn't have no meaning to this game. There's just no meaning to the game. So yeah, I guess, yeah, let's start with, ooh. Why is there that going on there? I must have accidentally painted something. There we go. So yes, let's start by getting all of the body material bit selected. I guess we're doing some art today. It's kind of interesting, I guess. A different change of pace. Sometimes it just happens. But we need meshes now to be able to actually begin working on character creation. We need content to work with for that. I wonder. I mean, sure. I suppose I could add my socks to this. I had fancy shader socks. I could add that, I guess. Right, so yeah, the base is separate of the face, of course. So let's get this all isolated. Oh, that is slightly problematic, isn't it, though? Because now I've lost, with that little problem of occurring, I've lost the feet and ankles, and now I'm going to need to reconstruct that to some degree. This portion of it actually can just come with, because that's that was just derived from the original. But the boots are so big and are going to cause a problem to this. So I'm going to have to recreate some feet. Yay! Just what I always wanted to do. Alright, so I guess selection, there we go. We have a body base. And now we just need to recreate those bits. But we need to extract Actually, I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. We can keep it together. This would have been so much easier if I didn't just lose the original file. So we just more or less leave that as like a templating thing, and then we can. Well, make sure it's the right size first, because it should be like 2048 by 2048 or somewhere around there. We got, well, it's square. It should just be square. Okay. As for nails, I was thinking, yeah, letting people have different fashion on the nails, maybe. But for now, well, I mean, it's too tightly visible. But for now, yeah, let's just dump it. It'll be easier actually just paint it all white. Boop-a-doop-boo. All right, and then we'll save that as its PSD chunk. Nope. Ah! The problem is, you know, I'm doing all this for what's essentially stub art, though, too. But I do need something to work with and chunks. I could use our other character that is in testing assets, but I felt like, I don't know, this one I should use my character. And then, well, I guess our other character will use her bits, though, as alternative, like, just to give more choices. Yeah, that's the plan. for just the base, though, nothing special. But yeah, I'm rambling and not getting where I need to be. And I'm looking in ICOM and not project exploration. I've wandered off the wrong path. Okay, so actually we want in here, we do want this to be avatars, I guess. And then of course we want to have this as the Scold avatar. But hello, Danny. Or Danica? Danica. Yeah. I am okay. I am making a game. It is going good. I should just get rid of this person. I know it's a... Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ah, that's what we do. Yeah, that was a scammer. Never expected someone to roll in trying to sell me art. Like, bruh, no. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to do a little bit of self-moderating at the moment because I don't think my mods have been paying attention. But it happens. Okay. Alright, so now we need to adjust this body mesh. Let's rename this temporarily Arts. Man, they're coming in troves today, aren't they? Hey, wait, why does it show that I'm playing Monster Hunter Wild still? Oops. Let's switch that over. The software didn't switch it over correctly. Should be software and game development. There, switched. Ah, there it is. Okay, now that the trash has been taken out, there we go. Let's get this done. Yeah, that's the body base actually. Badoo, badoo, badoo. Okay, yep, there we are with a body base. Honestly, I guess I don't mind too much of having to redo a few things. I just don't want to have to redo the face mostly. The face was the most complicated part of the avatar. Hey, there we go. Okay. Let's get rid of the pinch because it doesn't make any sense right there. Actually, there's a slight problem in which mirroring should have been on for that to make sure it stays even. There we go. And now we need to rebuild this little structural area first. Or I can start, well, actually the first thing we need to do actually is getting the new UV mapping on this. We'll remove all of that. New, we'll call it Scold body base, like that, which is actually what this should have been called and not skin. And actually, let's make sure this gets into the folder there. There we go. And then we can come over to pre-assets, Scold there, delete that. Okay, and this is actually just body base, and then body base, so we can close that there, body base, okay, and now back to Blender, and what we can do is, okay, body base, base color, image. We're not going to worry about features or anything like that. And there we go. Oop. And there we are. And now we have to actually fix up the UV editing. Interesting that the leg is in the right place. But these parts are not. Yeah, get rid of this. What is off about this? Okay. I think I see. It appears to be an unusual offset. I am not quite sure what is this offset. Here's the original texture. This thing is a size of 4096. Image size here is 1638, so it is perfectly square to that. 1638 out of 4096, or is it the other way around? We need to go 4096 out of 1638. We need to enlarge this by that. Okay, so that gives us the... Yeah, that's the fitting. That is the positioning. Just match up some points there. And there we have it. It's yeah, restored to its original size. All right. And yeah, the leg should be separate on each side, but I guess it doesn't matter in this particular case. But yeah, you can see in there in the feet too that I need to recreate. Oh, that's going to be oh, so fun. Oh, so fun. But I mean, when will it ever be barefoot? For now, honestly, I don't think I want to worry about that. I don't think it'll ever be barefoot. So let's just work down to the ankle. Let's just get that all formed in its quad topology. Yeah, it's already gone too far. There we go. So now that is below the knee already. And actually, if you look at where the foot begins, this is too far down. If we're just going down to the ankle there, no big deal. Okay, so now we can start doing some shaping. Honestly though, here it's gonna be more like that. Very carefully. Looks like we had a vertex fall from grace there. The mirror editing isn't quite mirror editing as it should. Okay, that's bizarre. That makes me think that something didn't get selected when extruding. But it did. Buh. Blender, please, what are you doing? You're killing me. Blender, what are you doing? What are you doing, Blender? Maybe if I do this, which, yeah, there was some vertices that didn't get aligned properly. Okay. Yeah, that might explain what's going on. Hey, there we go. Now it's behaving like I want to. And ironically, that lets us shape it to just what we need almost. Just an odd bulge right there in the front, yep. Okay. And what does that look like in UV land there? It looks all wrong, of course. Do-do-do-do. This is not normally how you'd want to UV map something, but I don't really have much of a choice. Because, you know, I'm restoring a portion of it. but it should look fine. Meow. Honestly, that's probably not quite right, but I don't know, when we look at it. When we look at it, it looks just fine. As long as it's evenly spread through there. What do we have here, though, for this? Okay, that's a little confusing because... Oh, wait, well, no, that is right. That is in that area. The shirt I can probably use to cheat this a little bit because the shirt was you know, built from that portion of the body. So let's grab that. You can see where, yeah. Let's do a duplication and rip from the shirt. And then from the shirt, let's actually do a Alt-S scale in normals. And it kind of lines up, but you can see where it was off. But it does give me, yeah, the basic structure that was removed. So I can actually, it wasn't even, it was only slightly enlarged, not nearly as enlarged as I let it. I don't know what happened there, but we can smooth that out, whatever. There you are. Oop. And then we can get rid of that chunk. And that chunk. And then yeah, there's overlapping pieces in here that we can get rid of that the skin comes to. And then in this case, it's this overlapping bit that we can delete. And then these two need to be like merged together. Here we have, yeah, the hole from the arm. There's a little gap there that can probably be fixed easily. The collar was an after creation, so we can get rid of this little collar piece. It happens we do that, and yep, as expected. There it is. And then yeah, we merge those pieces. Restoration. I guess this is useful for somebody out there if you're a VR chatter or if you're something else that has to do something like this. This is the annoying and tedious process of restoring an avatar. Or even fitting outfits to, you know, other characters. You have to make sure everything's all aligned, and there we are. It looks like we have actually gotten there. Yeah, actually in all aspects of it. So now we just do this. Boop. And the even more irony here is we go and remove these extra bits. And then we figure out where this bit fits in with the rest. It's probably the same deal where it's scale 2.5. And that is where I'm wrong. We do not have matching UVs on this. Huh. I did change the UV system on the clothing itself, on the shirt. So this is Bucky. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be a pain. I wonder what will happen if I wrap it, if it will wrap it in the same way as this, and where those parts of it are. I mean, let's get it glued together first and find out, I guess. If not, we're just gonna have to redo that part of the texture. And you just have to reshade it and everything, recolor and shade it. Yep, let's go. Let's do the boring, tedious thing. Merge at center. Walk around the entire avatar. Do. You can get rid of it. Yeah, turn off that so it makes it a little easier. Okay, but now we need to turn back on because stuff is behind other things. That's odd. What did I do there? That chunk ended up missing. I guess for this, let's look at the coordinates here on this, and yeah, y, set that y to that, z, set its z to that, for the sake of it mirroring, and then x going to be the same there, but negative. Here we go. And now we can reconstruct that missing hole. There we go. And yeah, that's right. We can probably just go up that part of this back and just, yeah, merge by distance. There we go. Let that all glue together. Although, what the hell happened? Oh, that's the underneck. That's why. Never mind. That's just like that. one's the tough one where actually instead we wanted to do not even that, actually. Oh. Go down this part first. Okay, let's do the side too, just to get it to the same place. And there's a little, yep, clip. Do 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 do. And it is almost time. Well, we did get into character creation like I wanted to, but oh man, are we and I in something deep. So it's gonna be a hot minute of me chunking up this avatar over the week. There is an anime convention though that is coming up this weekend here in Portland. Yeah, I guess I just doxed that finally where I am. Been kind of hiding that I am living in Portland. I didn't want people really to know that I moved out this way, but I guess I just ruined that. I mean, people knew I moved to Oregon. They just are in the West Coast even. I just never explicitly said Portland. But there you have it. Either way, yeah, gonna be going to an anime convention here in town this weekend. So because of that, I am not going to get as much time working on this as I would like. The convention is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I might have to take Monday off depending on health, how I handle the convention. If I feel good enough on Monday, I'll continue doing work then even. But we'll see. So that leaves just tomorrow to get any work done until Tuesday. Hopefully by next Wednesday, we will have this avatar all chunked up and ready to go to start bringing it into project exploration. But in the meantime, yeah, this is just unfortunately what I got to do to get working asset for testing this. We at least got it all planned and out of the way. I think I'm, again, happy with the structure that we came up with. And if you have any suggestions about how I structured that and any ways to improve it or thoughts on that, like, leave it in a comment, write to me, get into Discord, explain it there, whatever. But yeah, and most importantly, I really want to make this game. I really want to create the studio. I really want to make jobs, since we don't really have many out there, as I pointed out earlier. We need more jobs for people, and we need to not let them get outsourced to other countries. So with that said, though, I would like to have the ability to turn this project into something that we can get enough money behind it. And when you look at it, though, like, how is any project funded? Of course, you have supporters and investors, and you guys are that for me. You guys tuning in and watching, that gives me some revenue from Twitch if you do. So please do. Please subscribe. Please watch. Please, don't use ad blocks if you can help it. Whatever. I can't say that I don't use it myself because, I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, don't use them if you can. And yeah, I want to keep going on this. This is what I want to do, and as I said on B-Sky today, I don't know, you can't make software. Software can't be made if developers don't get paid. That's the unfortunate reality of the world we live in. would have still liked been working on ICOM if it wasn't for the climate that everything was in, and for the fact that it wasn't earning the revenue that I needed. So that's what led me here is the change of pace is to making a game that is this to help promote, of course, AI in general and the positive uses of AI, and especially in gaming. Um, so I want to keep that up, of course. But yeah, I really thank everyone for the contributions that they have been giving me. I've kept my promise, and I will continue to keep my promise with AICOM for people who are supporting for AICOM specifically. What your money gets there is that I will make sure that it works. It is in long-term service. So that does mean, though, that we will keep it working for VR chat. Something seems to break, we will try to fix it. So I hope there is value in that for people. I hope there is value for subscriptions from people. I will try to do my best to help people in the Discord. With your subscription, obviously, you get access to the insider channels. You can ask anything. Those channels are there for you. So if you are a subscriber and you can see those channels, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask me questions in those channels. I will do my best to answer when I can. I just ask that you be a little patient. I will eventually answer people's questions for sure. And when I can help, I'll try to help. But there's a lot here to do on project exploration, as you can see. And we're going to keep doing it and keep working at it. I hope to find, if you have suggestions of ways to better the value of the Patreon subscription, that is your way of investing in me, and that is me giving back in whatever way I can with that subscription within reason. Because the whole idea of that subscription is to keep me working on project exploration and AICOM. So if anything, that is as most appreciated. We are currently at about, hovering around 30 subscribers. So thank you, all of you, for that. I hope to see it grow and grow even more. And I hope that, like I said, people really find the value in all this. Till then, I will see you all next week. It's been fun. It obviously is fun. It's also kind of mind-numbing. But this is just kind of how, ironically, that I tend to meditate in a way, because I just kind of zone out and I lock in when I'm working on this kind of stuff, if you notice. Get maybe a little too locked in. But I try to pay attention to chat and talk to you all and, respond when I can. And actually, I think today went pretty good for that. But yeah, remember to like, subscribe, and if you can, help out in the Patreon. I'll see you.